is ball above all.
So, Nell, it's on you for the next one.
All right.
Oh, you picked one.
There it is right here. Does isolation basketball kill the game?
Ooh! I like that question.
Tough, man.
It's a tough
Okay,
one.
Chris, you go. Start it off.
Well, it's kind of funny that this goes after the James Harden, like
It's
James
right
Harden
after, yeah,
rival,
exactly.
because I think it has definitely changed the game. I think for me, looking at basketball overall, a lot of the, as a basketball player growing up, you look at players and how they play, and you model your game after them. With the NBA being so isolated, all you see is James Harden or Curry or Kyrie and these guys just dribbling the ball around, and it's pure isolation, right? People don't understand the fundamentals of the game as much growing up. So I think it is a shift. You look at 90s basketball to what we have now, it's completely changed. So is it bad? Possibly, but it's the evolution of the game as well. You see more every one size player fits all, kind of every position. You see they're going to positionless across the court. So it's more of a evolution of the game versus a bad thing. But overall, I would say it is a bad thing because fundamentally the game is changing towards more of a negative situation, and the fundamentals for me are lost a little bit.
Yeah. So for me, man, I definitely need to pick a side, but I feel like I'm kind of on the fence. So as far as it being bad basketball, I'm not gonna say it's bad basketball. And the reason why I say that is there's certain times where if you have a player that is capable of getting in the lane at will, then it's completely understandable why you would continue to isolate that particular player. Here's where I'm on the fence is depending on how that player, you put too much, I'm not gonna say it's pressure, but you give him too much of the team's decisions, because now if he passes, you have opportunities to win. If he's always shooting over 2-3 people, then you're making it tough to win. So I don't know if I'm not gonna say it's bad basketball, but I also don't know if it's winning basketball. So is it killing the game? It really depends on who's doing it. Because certain guys, when they do it, can win the game for you, but then when other guys do it, can kill the game for you. So, man, it really just depends on who's doing it, to be completely honest. That's pretty much my opinion on the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Kind of to piggyback off Chris, I'll say it kills the game if you are a traditionalist in how you look at basketball. It kills the game if you're one of those purists that are trying to retain what basketball once was, which we all know has changed. It's evolved, it's turned into something completely different. If you are somebody, a new generation, or even maybe somebody who watched ball back in the day, but you can appreciate how it's being played now, if you're in that category, then ISO ball is what it's about. Like, the game as it is now is just what it is. It's changing. And the problem is why the narrative is, oh, this is killing the game or that's killing the game. The problem is that people don't want the game to change. You got a group of people that are all about the game changing, and then you have a lot of people who are a huge part of the basketball world that don't want the game to change. So they look at all these new things, the James Harden step backs and all these things, the Steph Curry is like, they're like, these guys are just play. So it's about perspective. If you love the game how it was, it's killed the game. If you like the game how it is now, that's what it's all about.
I think like Darnell said, or Nell said, I feel like I'm on the fence too, because I feel like being somebody that used to play the game the way I used to play it, at the level I used to play it, like I strongly understand why you ISO certain guys, and I get that. But then when you dive into it, today's product that's on the floor is losing a lot of ratings, like because it's more offense. Is there more people, and this is a question maybe everybody can answer, are there more fans that watch the game because of the scoring and the way it looks, or are there more of us that are purists that understand the game, played the game, and love the game for the defensive part of it and the offensive part of it? So then, the reason why I'm saying that is then it would pose the question as, does it matter that there's not defense? Because it's about making money. It's about understanding that the product that's on the floor is scoring. So it's like, if that's the product, then isolation makes sense for what you're doing as a business. If we're looking at the purist, like us who love the game, defense does matter to us. So it's like isolation is killing that all the time. So I'm on the fence. I don't know.
Okay,
That's the thing.
All right, let me say this. Let me throw this out there. And I'm going to say this. I think it works. Isolation ball can work for everybody. And I'll tell you why. Why does Patrick Beverley have a reputation or even have fans in the league? Just
because he plays defense.
okay.
Defense.
Now,
yeah.
I feel that with it being such an offensive game, defensive players have a chance to shine too.
That's
if
true.
defense is your thing, and that's what you do, you have a chance to shine in an offensive league if you're stopping all these guys.
That's true.
Or if you're building your name on defense. So I think it can work for everybody. But like I said, there are some sour guys. I don't want to say sour, but there's some. There are minds in basketball right now that just don't feel the game should change or needs to change because it's just such a good game as it was. But then you have the evolution of the game, the new generation style of ball, and I hate to use generational as the separator or as the divider, but it is about the generations.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
It is, yeah.
And because we're in this generation right now, currently as we stand, basketball is how it is, and it's iso ball. It's offensively, it's offensive, and it's just about entertainment value, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean that guys that care about defense and predicate their game on defense can't shine.
That's true.
That's the silver lining behind it. If you really focus on what you do, even the role players right now can shine. Role players get a lot of shine. People like
out
Montrez.
the corner though.
But okay,
out the
I don't
corner,
know
though,
why for
so-
some reason people talk so much about Montrez
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
these
yeah.
other guys. I don't even fully understand why, but I kind of do. It's because in an offensively geared league, they can stand out because if they play their role, which isn't offensive, and they do it well, all of a sudden it's like, oh shoot, he just helped us win the game too, doing what he does.
Yeah, that's true.
Let me ask you something. I think it comes back down to a lot around the product. For me, do you guys like watching when Harden was at the Rockets? Did you enjoy watching the Rockets play?
I'm gonna say no. I didn't. I enjoyed watching Harden do what he did.
I would switch it off pretty much for Rocket games.
Yeah, I agree.
Man, I'm being completely honest. It's not completely winning basketball,
Yeah.
man. It's not, man.
It's about what you're watching for. Are you watching to be entertained and watch Harden get 40 or 50? Or are you watching to watch good basketball?
And that's why I said what I said. So, are we the smaller end of the scale in terms of people that are watching the product? Are we the lower end where there's more consumers that want to see the high-ended score a lot,
It's become that way.
crazy step back threes that Steph Curry does? Like, is that what it's about? You know what I mean?
What are the kids growing up now doing? They're doing everything everything isolated, I would say, right?
Nobody's doing what Tim Duncan did.
Yeah, and no one's catching in the block and shooting.
No one's using the glass.
Yeah, no one's using the
None of
glass
that
or using
stuff.
fundamentals.
Even if you go on Instagram and you know, Chris, all you guys, I send you guys different clips. It's all like one-on-one drills, like, and these guys are practicing.
Breaking act.
That's
Breaking
it.
That's it.
You know, let's be clear about something though. The Kyries and the Dame Lillards and all these guys of the world, their fundamentals are on point.
Yeah.
On point.
Definitely.
So let's not say that isolation ball just takes away from the fundamentals. I don't want to really get there because Kyrie Irving, they're saying is arguably the most skilled player the NBA has ever seen.
I agree with that, though.
But it's
people see him and think it's street ball.
It's tough to win like that.
I agree.
That's
why the Rockets.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I agree. But the
that's
game
why
of
the
basketball,
Like,
unfortunately,
you could do it if you want to do it. I mean, but when playoff time comes, the game slow down. We're going possession for possession. The defense is set. You know what I'm saying?
just like-
It's tough to win.
And I was actually
tough to win.
I don't remember what I was watching, but to your point, like they said, when a team actually has the opportunity now to scout you for 7 games, it's different. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
7 games, they can now look at your percentage from the 45, from the middle, and they go, listen, every time that Chris gets the ball in the 45, we're gonna stop that.
Yeah.
So now it's like you said, how do you? That ISO ball is just not gonna work. But everyone on your team is so used to playing that way.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you expose other guys, not to mention monetarily, you're screwing them for their future because they're like, all season long, I was hitting this at a 45% clip, and now during the playoffs, I'm hitting 20%. But that's because the defense is stopping me from doing that, you know? So
That's why people don't even understand how much of a genius Phil Jackson is. The triangle and those set plays, they're actions, they're motions. It's just to get
it's
the
motions.
defense moving. That's
Move the
that's the
ball.
main reason. They had guys at ISO too, Jordan ISO, Kobe ISO, all that stuff, Kareem, whatever. But there was an action first. So now you have to play honest. You can't just stand and help while someone's ISOing. Your man is moving too. So,
Yeah,
man, I don't know, man. There's a lot of that goes into it. A lot of coaching. If your team's giving you the green light, I can't say if a team lets me do it, I'm not gonna do it. So, like,
you know what it might
Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
Every time.
I'm never gonna do it too. So.
You know, with the exception of maybe LeBron, the reality is the best players in the league, all the ambassadors in the league, the faces of the league are all ISO guys.
It's
So
true.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Go
No.
against that?
So this is what I'm saying too. Like, so LeBron does it, but LeBron is reading the game too.
That's what I'm saying. He's the
LeBron's
exception.
never shooting over 2 people.
He's the only
And
star
that's
right now.
That's
that
really
doesn't
going to
do
give
it.
you opportunities to win.
LeBron is pretty much going to be the exception of almost everything we talk about tonight. It's bad to say, but you know.
This is why people say he's the GOAT because he does. Oh, anyway, but that's another conversation.
Being